Hey, Marcus, thank you so much for your time. Would you mind use your language to say hello to your country?
Hi, I think my name is Marcus. In my country, I pretty much speak English and Mandarin
Hmm.
combination. So, 你好 is hello in Mandarin. So
Hmm.
yeah, and my parents, they're from Malaysia, and then they brought me down to Singapore, and then I was born in Singapore. So Singapore is a very mixed country where we speak English, Chinese, Cantonese, like
Hmm.
Neho, Cantonese, yeah, in all kind of language. So yeah, and
Yeah,
then
I can speak Mandarin and Cantonese too. So lei ho. You know
Neho.
what? Actually, is the funny thing is when I in school, I only speak with you in English, right? I never know
Yeah,
that you can
exactly.
speak Mandarin and Cantonese.
Cantonese.
And then
Yeah,
Cantonese also is very interesting too because it's not a mainstream language right now. So I'm
not a
glad
mainstream language.
I'm glad you can speak Cantonese. So, hey, Marcus, would you mind introduce yourself, who you are, and then why you selected architecture for your major, and also why you want to study in the United States?
Yeah. So I started having interest in architecture maybe much earlier on because I think my dad works in the building material supply industry. I mean, he runs off factories in China when I was young, so I always visit the factory. And then at the same time, my uncle is also an interior designer. So I think the combination of the design and the building materials kind of by nature, I became interested in that industry. So, I mean, I started studying diploma in architecture in Singapore, and then I went to Australia for undergrad. And then during the undergrad, I had an exchange program with Sci-Arc. So my school had an exchange program, so I went to Sci-Arc, did an exchange, and then I love Sci-Arc. I mean, the things that Southern California Institute of Architecture, which Sci-Arc did, is very innovative. It's not like others, so I love it. And then I figured that maybe I can get a job much easier in United States versus than in the UK if I graduate here. So yeah, I decided to came over to the United States and continue my education.
Oh
I mean,
wow, that's
right now,
oh keep
yeah.
going,
I
yeah.
mean, right now, I mean, I was graduated in 2012 or 13, early 2013. So and then started working for like maybe maybe 6 years, 7 years, and then started our own company with our friends. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's very good. So you one step forward. You're not only working for someone, and also you established your business to
Yeah.
further to pursue your dream. So that's amazing. So and then when you started your education in United States, so can you share with me what kind of challenges you was
Mm,
encountered before?
yes, I think number one is like it's always language. Language is always important. I mean, I know I speak like English, but there's always a different accent from Singaporean and United States or even Australian accent. So there's always a how to say a fear of unable to communicate correctly what I want to say to them. But it takes time. So I think after like 4 or 5 years in SciArc where they force you to present in front of the lecturer, I think you slowly get used to it that the communication is important, but having the correct attitude, like always willing to listen, always like willing to learn from each other, the openness, the attitude, and the willingness to work hard can overcome the communication barrier at times. Just sort of
Excellent,
compensate, yeah,
excellent. So
compensate for
yeah,
it.
actually, this is also a common challenge for a lot of international students, right? Even though I interviewed it with
Yeah,
few international students, they can speak English, but
yeah,
someone from London, so yeah, actually both girls they study from London's, and then
mhm,
they speak English, right? But when you in terms of communication in the United States, because the vocabulary the tone and then also the thinking and perspective culture everything is so different so beside the languages the difference between your hometown and the United States and do you also have another things like living in the United States you was experiencing the challenge before.
So I think because I came from Singapore, Singapore is a small country, and then we take public transport all over the place. Transport system is good. So when I first came to California, like the public transport system isn't that convenient. It's mostly, you have to drive. So the first thing that I had problems is learning how to drive, and then it seems pretty dangerous driving in LA with the traffic and the high speed highway expressway. So that was an issue about driving, and the next is really about safetyness. Like, it's really about how you get around safely. So the driving and how to get around safely is important. So um, the way I solve it is probably I had my friends that drove me around, and then we drive together. We kind of carpool, so we feel safe going to new places, and we feel safe about helping each other look out with the traffic guides. Sometimes you're not familiar with how you get out of the expressway and be on the right lane, right? Always happen, even now. Yep.
Yeah, I think yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, I also have the similar situations when I first learned how to driving, and then my youngest brother, he came to United States 1 year ahead than me, so that he had all the driving skill. He had driving skill already. So and then I have to work, and then to probably drive maybe 30 minutes, 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So he was so generous to offer. He sits next to me, and then with me to go to my office, and then he will go back by himself. So this
Yeah,
kind of helped me to build up my confidence and experience how to handle the freeway driving, because I know that more of the
yeah.
young kids here, they learn driving around 16, 17, right? So driving
The
like them
locals,
just
yeah.
like riding a bicycle, right? So that's for them is not a problem. But when I learned my driving skill is already 20 something, and then I so used to use the public transportation in Hong Kong. So yeah, that's quite an interesting experience. So, but right now it's good. And also I believe that the international student right now, they have a lot of convenience options like Uber, like other link, other kind of different taxi sharing program. So that's make them much more easier.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Like Uber and car sharing program that helps. That actually helps solve the problem a little bit. Yeah, that's right.
That's true. In the school, so what is the challenge in your school?
So I think school is maybe, I think working in teams is an interesting challenge, and then the content of picking up, history classes was interesting. It was a little bit different. I mean, I think it worked out fine for me, but history classes I see is a problem for a lot of international students. Reading the very intense amount of essays to be read, it's again, it's the language question, and then working in teams is about how to communicate effectively between culture. Right, so I have a teammate that comes in from different cultures saying that, maybe I'll get this done in a certain way, as discussed, and then they have a different way. So you have to get used to different way of doing things that you expect can be done differently. Yeah.
Wow, this is an interesting point. I know that different culture they handle communication, and then expectation is quite different, right?
Yeah, expectation. Yeah.
So and then I believe that when you have a commitment, so but different people have different understanding about the commitment for their work and teamwork. So that's I learned in a hard way. So for example, when I talked to one of the team members before, they always said, yeah, I can take care, I can take it. But when the deadline came up and then nothing show up, and then nothing can present, nothing can
Yeah.
deliver to the professor or to the client. So actually it's made me really upset. So they have good understanding presentation, but in terms of execution, their expectation is quite different. Then,
Mm-hmm.
so that this took me a long time to adjust, even though right now this is not easy at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's different expectation. Right?
Yeah. So when you finish your school, how can you share about when you finish your school, how you transition to get a work and then to become a business owner?
So I think like once you graduate, I think the first move is always to get a job. I mean, as an international student, you have to kind of get a job in order to like to stay and get the visa issue. So I think getting a job is I think it's very hard for most international students. I mean, there's no special benefit for a local US company to hire someone from overseas unless you're super talented or unless you contribute to a language superior advantage where the companies is doing projects in different country where you can speak that language. So yeah, I think I kind of applied for like 200 plus companies when I graduate, and then only like no more than 20 replied. But out of 20, maybe half of the 20, maybe out of 7 8 decided to give an interview, and eventually 3 or 4. I mean, I graduated in 2012, so it's still just starting to recover from 2008 kind of like recession. But even now with the COVID and the Chinese China and even America tension, I think it kind of it kind of play towards the bad side of having international students staying here. So it's not easy.
Yeah, I remember when I first graduated from my school, I'm so fortunate. I some of one of my church member, he is an architect, and then he for a referral job to me to his organization. So and then after graduate, I working in our office RTKL to do
Oh, that's good.
international, yeah, to do a international project. So my project is in China. So because I have the language advantage, I can communicate with my clients. And then yeah, this is interesting. You know, my clients was they were Hong Kongese, so they speak Cantonese. And then,
Yeah.
but when we present, because we have to represent, okay, so off the record, we speak Cantonese because this is the language they more comfortable, right? But
Yeah.
during the meeting, so when we will use English to present the work, discuss the problems, and then also do all kind of documentations in English. But sometimes because my clients they have, I think that maybe the language barrier or the communication issues. So sometimes the meeting will switch the channel to using Cantonese or Mandarin to continue the meeting. So and then yeah, this was a very interesting experience because as you mentioned that so with the project you're working with some projects particular require different language, so those
Hmm.
international students will be able to provide the benefit for the companies here, right, to better communicate with the clients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Like, our value is really providing a different language option for them to get projects overseas, or it's either you're very good at a certain skill set like a software, you're very good, or putting up drawings, you're very good. You have a very good attitude. Like I see like like this year especially lesser and lesser international students able to like remain at United States after graduation. So
Mhm.
probably only the very like very how to say it, very hungry international student, the very desperate or very determined international student would eventually stay over here.
Mm, I think that's true. Because I know that some of the students they already have a connection in their country, right? So after they graduated, so that they have the knowledge and then they have the skill set and bring it back to their home country to serve.
Yeah,
That's much perfect sense. So, but this is also is a big disadvantage for the United States, right? So because the student they bring the money, they spend time to learn all kind of stuff. This is a very uh, this is a professional knowledge, right? So how the United States can take advantage for, well, actually not take advantage, they work better to those students to have a win-win situation. I
yeah,
think
exactly,
that is one of the thing is a big missed opportunity.
exactly,
The country should think about it. Yeah.
exactly. And I think you said something very important. Like it's not just about them bringing the money in. It's about bilateral diplomatic relationship. Right? You work well with the international students, and all these international students will have a good representation of America back in their home country. So
Mm-hmm.
like very diplomatic relationship is pretty important.
Yeah, and also when I'm doing these projects, I realized that also for the international student, because the language barrier, so because they may someone have a really bad financial issues too, so it is preventing them to present their great work to the public. So let's say when an employer, right, so they want to hire a junior designer, right, so graduate from school, so and then they cannot when two students, one is an international student, one is a this student I think born here, right? So and then to for the risk per assessment, so to hire international student have more risk, but because they just like they consider they're the same, right? They cannot see the potential, and also they do not have any way to justify the international student may have a better or different unique characteristics to contribute to the company. So, and then one of the things is come up in my mind is that we need to have a better showcase for the people and international student here. So, and then also they can trust the work. Then we'll help them to more outstanding to in among of different competitions. So that's I trying to see. I don't know how to get there, but hopefully everyone can give me some pieces, and then I can put the puzzles together.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
So and then how long you been working with the architect firm after you graduate?
So I think I went to work at SOM and Gensler. I think it probably like I want to say graduate 2013, maybe six 6 years, maybe 5 to 6 years, yeah, 5 to 6 years.
Oh, so you work with both, this is a top tier architect firm, SOM and Gensler. So
Yeah.
what is the what make you change your mind to establish your own business?
So this is a very good question that people ask, and then I always give them a very honest answer. I figured that I was married, so my wife told me that hey, my wife told me that hey, she want to have kids, and I told her that, you know what, maybe I should start, doing my company and give it a shot before I have kids, because when you have kids, you don't have time for kids anymore. So I'm like, okay, time's up. I'm gonna like try myself and leave my job. Yeah, and then ever since, I mean, it's been 3 years, and just yeah.
So can you share about what kind of challenge when you have to transition from you have your work visa, right? So when you're still working in the architect firm, how you work out your visa and how to work out to establish your business?
So I think like you have to like eventually you have to wait for like green card, to establish your business here. Like so that's what we did. We have gotten our green card, and then we started our business. And then yeah, in terms of this legal logistic question, yeah, that's it. And then it's what else? Yeah, like I think other than legal thing is like you have to be financially prepared that maybe the first or 2 years you have to live frugally, like just don't spend too much, be thrifty.
Yeah, so it's not only for international students, they trying to establish their business, right? Also, like in general, to establish a business is not an easy thing. So that's you're amazing. So you went through the whole process. So
So I think I mean I think surviving business. I mean, so first is you have to survive. Like, how do you make money for yourself and not depend on like a boss to give you money? So finding ways of survival is one thing. I see a lot of friends, international students. What they did is that they went to school to get like a teaching job, and then on the side they do like freelance project, and then to establish their name, and then eventually full time into that. So I took the dangerous move of just jumping out and not have any job and just do it. I mean, oh yeah, I have a partner. One thing I have to mention, I have a partner, I have a business partner. I met him, and he's from USC. His name is Clark Wang, and then we did our business together in Chicago. So having a partner helps because it increases your chance of getting projects.
oh wow, great. So hey, actually he also international student, right? Your
Yeah,
partner. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey, maybe help me up. So yeah, I want to interview him if he don't mind to join us.
yeah, sure. No, no, yeah, I'm
So
pretty sure it's from USC too. Maybe alumni from you.
yeah, actually that's true. So he went to the USC architecture school, right?
Yeah.
You know what? When I was a science student, I always use USC resources too, because in science, so to there's a no porter to for the student, right? So you have to pay for it. So, but in SC, they do have a porter for the student. I always send my job to my classmate. We from my community college, and then they went to USC, and then I used the porter in USC to print out the jobs.
Yeah, yeah, well,
So this
yep.
saved me a lot of money because to print one presentations is talking about a couple $100
Hundreds. Yeah,
for a presentation. So that's just a really big help for to help me to work out my financial burden.
that's right, that's right, that's right.
Yeah. So then you after 6 years so around so that you found a way you get some good partners to and then you try to establish business. How long for your business running so far right now?
Three, I mean, 3 years. I think we're doing a regular, like traditional, very traditional architecture professional service, and we get projects. And then I think last year we had COVID, right? So we got hit a little bit, but we are still doing fine, like not good or bad, just fine.
Mm.
So and this year is slowly recovering a bit, but along the way we decided to push something more innovative, like maybe more technologically related or productized, like architecture portion of architecture content. So yeah, we're pushing a little bit on that. So we're taking another risk on innovating architecture practice.
Oh wow, cool. So would you mind show us your creative work and then to see how that's going to work out?
Yeah, can we share? Is it possible
Y-
to share
Yeah, you
screen?
can share screen. Yeah, I yeah, you should able to share your screen.
I mean, yeah, I think that works. So, so, so you can see my screen now, right?
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah. So I mean, in our architect company, so this is the product that we are trying to innovate a little bit is to simplify construction knowledge. So it could be for school, and it also can be for like new graduate designer that works for like company who want to learn about construction drawings, construction knowledge, so they can put together. So it's pretty much like an advanced version of architecture graphics. If you know what architecture graphics is, it's like a books that teach you the fundamentals of construction. So I mean, what we have here is that we created 3D models for you to understand like how construction or how some rafters is being put together, like different components. And then traditionally, you just read it from a 2D drawings that you Google research online, but now we put it together in 3D with annotations where you can click, and then y- you can click on the items to understand, have a brief understanding of what is it about. So it's like insulation knowledge, insulation layers versus the strip van, and on the left we put together the individual components where you can click, and then it comes into the supplier websites for you to look exactly like what it looks like. Because in 2D drawings it's just a line, sometimes. So from here you can click to understand exactly, and you can come into supplier and kind of know what that thing is about. So it's like a seamless connection of those fragmented information we have in the industry. So yeah, I mean, our company is called Open Drywall. We had a hard time deciding the name, but it's have an idea for you to review like what's behind the drywall, how things are put together. So I mean, this is also a problem we have, realizing that in the architecture industry, like there is a lesser focus in construction knowledge. It's getting more and more schematic. The focus is, so we want to like you know bring the basics of fundamental construction knowledge into an easier version for the new generation of young architects. So yeah, like this is what we're doing. I mean,
Hey Marcus,
if
you may not necessary to put your mic because I can hear very well.
oh yeah, sure. So yeah, I mean, this is the website. It's called Open Drywall, and then we have like a waiting list that you can sign up because we are trying to like put the content together and see how many people are interested. And then we have a YouTube video if you are first time visiting the site to see what this product is about. and a launch demo. So yeah, if you have like if meet any students or young professional who's interested about the product, they can sign up. I mean, in summary, it's really about an advanced version of architecture graphics where you learn the fundamentals of construction knowledge easily through a three-dimensional visualization.
Wow, that's very cool. I can see that there's a lot of potential for a new construction, right? So you can present
Yeah.
to the clients how you put your designs together. And also I really like the components that you can select the components, and then we show you all kind of available options. And then
Yeah.
they, because more of the time the architect, they specify I just need to have a steel beam strip whatever, but there's a ton of the option on the market. They can offer their clients can make and pick and choose what they want to put behind the drywall. So that's very cool. That's very cool. So how the client can reach out to you guys?
So right now, if anyone who's interested in the product, they could just come, come to the homepage. And for now, you can just sign up on a waiting list if you're interested in the product. But if you have any questions or stuff like that, you can click us on contact us, and then maybe write us an email or any specific question. Right now, we are like really working with two types of personnel. This is the sign up page. So we work with like institution, with schools, or like with a specific architecture company. If we can build a database of like 3D information for them for their internal use, or like for their publish their projects. Like let's say today at RTKL, you want to publish a series of projects in 3D for marketing purpose, or for like just how to say, for internal understanding purpose, that works too. Or if it's just individual owners who want to learn about construction easily, like it's like buying a book of architecture graphics in your library. It's like now we are buying a digital content of architecture graphics for you to learn. You can sign up here too. So yeah, like pretty much two options.
Wow, that's very great. I really like this idea. So because I'm working with I'm working with my client. I'm working for USC right now. So more of the time is for the construction team, they're good. So they know what is the drawing exactly on the drawings. But for I can see that more of the time for other discipline, like other vertical, to understand plan, drawing, section, they do have a barrier. So I can see that this is a very good product and opportunity for to optimize their communication gaps. So how do you have any educational related projects? And then I would like to see it if you have.
Educational related
Yeah,
projects.
so like the classroom, auditorium in the school. Do you have something like that?
In my own architecture practice, or in
Yeah,
this
you
content.
can do it both. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think classroom. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. So last year we did a series of nursing schools.
Mm-hmm.
So they are like nursing schools. We did the project is in Minnesota. We did nursing schools, and we did their small nursing labs or nursing rooms. Let me see if I have any pictures here. So nursing schools, like they have like the nursing bed, like so they do simulations. That is it. So this is one of those classroom that we did, and they have a specific table that's more flexible and a screen, and then on the side, let me see. There's nursing bed for simulations. So the nurse would like how to like see if you can see here. There's like the fake dummy human doll dummy here. So they have to. So we are designing space where they teach nurse how to how to take care of the patients in condition and simulation. So I mean the client is called Rasmussen College. It's a big, how to say, it's a big chain for nursing school. So the programs that we did for them, other than the classroom, the nursing simulation lab, there's also like audio visual rooms, there's science and tech labs, there's like pantry area, office area, and there's very specific programs in the labs. I mean in the overall academia. So for this school, I mean it kind of shift between the academic programs. So not just nurse, sometimes they do law enforcement like police officer. So they have a rooms of stimulation where they bring out our guns or how to deal with like hostile cases. So the school also like have like police officer, has security guards under law enforcement programs. So their audio visual needs like AV needs is different for those kind of programs. So depending of each year like how many students from the police officer that they recruit and then they certify them. So we'll kind of change the space a little bit for them. Yeah. So maybe this year there's more police officers, so we'll create new rooms that's flexible enough to like host or curate the course content for the police officers.
Wow. Actually, you just caught my attention. Right now my current position is an AV IT solutions architect. So I
Mhm,
design the technology and implement solutions for the classroom,
mhm,
and then for the AV sign. But also because I have a IT, actually not IT, I have an architecture background, so
mhm.
I can work with the plan to do some layout. So, can you explain a little bit about the AV portion? What you mentioned that before?
So every portion, like for example, like this classroom. So
Uh-huh.
there's a certain population that we have. I mean, this one specific, they have a standard like kind of prototype where you see each screen there's an AV projector on the top, and they wire it differently to the requirements. So we have a specialist on that on this project, I believe. Either that or we followed to a prototype. Let me see the other one. And for this case, I think it wasn't demonstrated here. There's also another screen. Like when we say AV, it's pretty much like a screen that for classroom that we can go up and down in the projection, stuff like that.
Mm.
And then I know that there's also a conference, maybe like bigger conference room
Hmm.
with a different needs for that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it sounds amazing.
What kind of AV are you talking about in your case?
Oh, in my place, it's something similar. So, we are USC. I'm doing like the classroom automations. So one of the thing is when the professor they walk into the space, we have the occupancy sensor in the ceiling. So
Yeah.
they would trigger everything, turn on automatically, lighting, projector screen, projectors, system is ready. And also we have the backend integration with Zoom. So the professor in the old world, so that the people have to plug in their HDMI cables to or whatever cable to their laptop or to share contents, right? But right now, because the technology, so the professor just log into their account and then they can share content to the screen wirelessly. So and also we have synchronized with the classroom schedule. So whatever class we're going to happen in the classroom is everything listed on the screen.
Hmm.
And
That's
also
right.
what else? Yeah, so basically you have a smart home, but the enterprise version in the classroom. Yeah.
Enterprise version. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because the enterprise, they do have something different because we have different consideration and security measure to design the technology. Sometimes we also have voice activations too. So, and then because the COVID, we're trying to do as much as we can have the user without touching their gear inside the classroom, and then they're able to teach. So that's actually is a great challenge, and then we overcome it. I believe that after the COVID, this actually will bring up more convenience because as before, no one will consider voice activation automated sensor for classroom because the cost and then also the to get funding will be tough because this is like an additional accessory, right? This is not provide actual features to teaching. But for right now, it's different. We also consider safety. We also consider also the technology is different now because everyone using Zoom to teach their class right
Yeah,
now.
that's right.
So to enable the student in the classroom, enable the professor to teach inside the classroom, and also
Effectively, right?
can
Yeah.
have the remote student to join to the same class. This is a great challenge too. And then one
It
of
is. It
the
is.
I met one of my client last first day. So one of the requests is she don't want to come to the campus because they are very experienced professor. So they also have a very different position, then this is more like the guest professor. So they have a good reputation. They have a lot of important things they take caring with. So have them to come to the campus always the barrier, particularly in COVID. So because they cannot get sick. So when they get sick, they may have a lot of issue for the research for their projects. So school trying to protect them as well. So and then we demonstrate that we have the technology, so the professor can teach in remotely, and then the student can sit in the classroom, have the conversation. One of the thing is actually the conversation was really funny. So she asked for us how to do it. So I just show my camera, and then I just capture the way. Actually, professor, you are doing it right now. So can you imagine that you're already using your screen to teaching us what you need? So that's actually that's a that will be the future for the I think it's for the AV technology, because we we bridge the gap for the people to using the latest technology to teach the class. And also, this is just the front end, right? So there's only the user and professor can experience, a
Mm-hmm.
student can experience in the classroom. But because this is a lot of technology difference, so the planning, like the network, like the infrastructure, that also is the back end design. Like the typical architect, I need to specify how the step connect to each other, right? So in the architect world, we have join, we have sections to show how to put things together. And then, but in my current position, I also have this component, right? I need to specify how to mount the screen on this wall, right? How to mount the TV on whatever situation, but also I need to have the another I IT layers to show them how the devices connect to each other. This is a really great challenge for me. I'm doing it right now.
That's right. I mean, we should talk more like after the video, like to learn more about what you do right now. Because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, you know what?
there's a
Yeah, I'm happy to yeah, to share more. Yeah. So
mm,
and then wow, that's a really great. So Marcus, do you have more creative work you can share with us?
yeah, like I mean, in our own company, like we recently did a church renovation, and
Mhm.
this project took a long time, so it's currently in construction. And then like I mean, this projects are from the later part are from like SOM. We did mention that this is from SOM project that we work on. So I think right now, as of right now, I mean, we do a lot of interior renovation projects too, which is, I mean, very personal and intimate with the clients. So
Mhm.
all this requires a lot of hard work and dedication to the with the client spend. And then we also do a lot of like F&B projects. We do a lot of restaurant. I mean, as a small company, we do a lot of restaurant projects.
Mhm.
Yeah, like franchises like Bonchon Chicken. I know LA has one. So we are doing two Bonchon Chicken. It's a franchise from Korea right now that we are doing two units in Chicago, Millions Crab, and then yeah, like a lot of small projects to be honest. And architecture itself is very highly time consuming. To do good work, you need to spend a lot of time on it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Oh,
So
wow. You have a lot of project in Chicago. Where you are located right now?
oh, I mean, I live in LA right now. I mean, I started the company in 3 years ago. I think six or 7 months ago, I moved over here because my wife got a job in Los Angeles. So I'm pretty much here for a good amount of time.
Wow. How you work with your client in Chicago?
So
And then,
my yeah, so my partner is in Chicago right now. So he's taking working on most of the Chicago existing relationship or clients. Then we're
mhm.
trying to maybe get more projects in Los Angeles, California right now.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and then your clients to take care like the site job walk, like the field measurements, and also coordinate with the contractor on site, right? Then
Yeah, exactly.
you can do design, and then you can support the documentations for him to.
Yeah,
I believe that when you have projects in LA, you also can work in the same fashion with your partner in Chicago, right? So
yeah,
that you can cover each other. That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
yeah. I mean,
Mm.
let's hope so, but I think that's constrained with our profession is being it's ultimately still professional service where you charged by the hours. So, but being in America, because especially in California, there's so many like how to say, so many influence that we are building for the future. We're gonna make a difference. We're gonna innovate, and then yeah, we're really working hard to like innovate to see what architects or new architecture graduate, not just going into traditional architecture firm, like what kind of value can they provide to the new world, to the new future. So like what you're doing like using your architecture skills, spatial skills, and apply it into audio visual kind of like technology. So I think it's really remarkable. So that's why I would say like maybe we can talk more like after the
Yeah,
recording
for
session.
sure. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then great. So and then I think that we can yeah, we can stop sharing the screen. I do have a few more questions for today. So give me
Yeah,
a sec.
definitely.
So let me
Let me
stop
stop.
just sharing. Okay, I get
Yeah,
it.
okay, I'm back. Got it. Thanks.
Hey, Marcus, thank you for your great work. So I'm really excited. So, and then, yeah, I also want to check out after this conversation, I want to check out your website to get some inspiration as well. I like
Yeah.
how, 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 how detailed of your work. So I believe that your team have great intention of care of the details to make it a really
Mhm.
great design for your clients. So, and then I do have a few more closing questions. So, first of all, what is your favorite college tradition in your school?
Favorite college tradition?
Yes.
Oh, I know this. I know which one. There's a Thanksgiving pie party, like pie viewing party where they
Oh,
right.
you remind me.
There's
This is really good.
yeah, that one is pretty amazing. Like everyone get free pie back, and then because in our I mean in Singapore we don't do Thanksgiving, but in America they do, and the school give out free pumpkin pies, and then that was my first time having pumpkin pies, and then it was so everyone from different culture, different race sit down and enjoy the pumpkin pie, and then it's an act of giving, and then some they don't take it, they will donate the pumpkin pie to the homeless on the street. It was very remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, is and then also yeah, when a student pick up their pumpkin pie, it is a good social time to your
Yeah,
different classmate, and then even though some of the student they work in different studio, you never work with them and know them before. This is a perfect timing to get a connection. That's great. That's great. So so do you have any more favorite tradition in your school? In our school?
in our school, that's the one that makes the most impact. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
that's the one. Yeah,
So we both architect, right? So right now, even though I'm not a truly architect, but but we do have the same training. So, architect always like to have favorite architects, right, in your life. So, can you share with me three favorite architect that you likes the most in your life, and then also have great influence of your work?
oh man, I think it evolved a lot. It changes a lot, man. To be honest, I used to I used to like Zaha a lot, but then the older I get, the more I go into details. I start to like Alvaro more. These days, yeah, like I think the older it gets, the more into details and more warm you look into appreciation in different architects' works. I mean, at some point when I was in school, I like OMA, but I mean, maybe right now, Alva Aro, maybe, yeah.
So you have Saha, you have what is the second one? Sorry.
Maybe Alva Aro is number one.
Arato.
Second is Zaha,
Okay.
yeah.
And then how about the last one? Give me one more.
Give me one more. Let me think. I think I do have one more. I think the recent one there's this guy from Seattle called Olsen
Wilson Connect.
Kundik. Oh, that one is doing a good job.
Hey, send it to me after this conversation. Send me the link,
Yeah,
and then
definitely
I definitely check it
doing
out.
a good
Yeah.
job, man. This guy.
So
Yeah.
I know that right in the last couple of years, there's a lot of great architects to they have a lot of great projects. Particularly, I'm so fortunate. I have a 2 years ago because last year we have a COVID, right? So I cannot travel around. But in 2019, I was so fortunate. I have a field trip to New York from. Then I saw a lot of great new buildings. So I believe that one of the buildings done by the big architect. So this is a triangulated building. So that's really cool.
Oh, big architect. Oh, that one is crazy, man.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they're good. They have good energy. They have creative thinking. They also, I like they also user centric, right? So, and then
Yeah,
they also
user
think
centric. Yeah.
about to create a space, right? So that everyone can enjoy, share the living spaces together. So not necessarily you share the house, but they have a lot of public space. They have a good balance between their privacy, public space, and also their house, because they're so nice, done so well, so creative. They also have a good investment values too. So they really smart to target all kind of area, as the architects supposed to consider. Yeah, they have a
Mhm.
great job. Yeah.
That's right.
So so with uh, uh, Marcus, with the people really want to learn more about you, so they want to contact you, what is the best way they can contact you?
Oh, I think by email, like
Mm,
it's Marcus at variationdesign.net. Marcus without
mhm.
an R, Macus at variationdesign.net. Yep.
Cool. Yes, please send. I'm going to put your link in our video so that the people can reach out to you. So also, if you can send me some pictures, and then I can put it together too.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All
I really
right.
appreciate it.
Cool. Hey, thank you so much. So this is such a great conversation. I really enjoy to
Yeah.
talk to you. And then also, hey, if you know other science student, they still here. So please, can you help me to bridge out the
Reach
gaps?
out.
I can reach out to them. So yeah, and then to
Yeah.
to kind of get this project moving forward. And then again, so I that's what I learned from you here. So and then you also really need to make plan, right? So I know that a lot of international students, they really struggle to go through the educations, but you have a vision, right? So when you work for a while, so you know what you're trying to achieve in your career. So I think this is a good this good takeaway from this conversation. And then and also, I see that the work you create is very different, right? So you also consider what to use technology to advance the
Yep.
conversations. So this is
Exactly.
very unique. I wish your company will be success. And then
Hope so. Yeah.
yeah, also actually one of the conversation with one of the student during my interview, so she was really struggle to get what to get software for her class. So she was in a community college, but she cannot afford a soft Rhino. So Rhino's 300 bucks, $200 to a student. So I'm thinking that how can for my this nonprofit organization can find a way to fund the student. So and also I'm thinking that even though the student can get a software, but they do not have the experience to use it. So the second thing I'm thinking will be hey, how about we can create workshop, right? So just a weekend workshop. So I can get a couple talented people. So, and then I gather the students. So, hey, I'm going to have a Rhino rabbit, maybe something else. So they can learn the technology. And then also for those professionals, they may have an opportunity to reach out to their future talents, right? So to create a synergy to work a better project.
That's right.
So, hey, Marcus, I want to ask you the final questions here. Then we can close the conversations here. Um, what is your final word for the future or the current international student?
I think regardless of what industry you're doing, right? Regardless whether it's architecture or computer science or what, is always look a little bit forward, like not too far. Like don't talk about like 10 years later. Look a little bit forward, like maybe 3 years. Don't back in school we are always like silo, very content. We look very narrow. We just want to like study and get good grades. Sometimes you have to look on the bigger picture, because always remember that what you do now has a bigger impact on the future. So like look three years into it, and then think about whether what you do now is where you want to be at 3 years. So always like look in a bigger picture and look in a smaller picture. That's why, because students always very focused. They are very focused because they are told what to do. But sometimes we need to look in a bigger perspective.
Wow,
Yeah.
you know what? This one remind me one of the recent conversation with my coworkers, and then with my classmate too. I remember in my school back then to 2011, something like that, and then we
Mhm.
have a cultural study, right? I'm not sure you remember this type of class we
Oh yeah,
have.
yeah, I do, I do, I do, I
So,
do. Yeah.
and then one of the professor, they're talking about the future. The one semester we focus on future study, and then the professor shared that he invested some bitcoins at that time. So, and then when I was smart enough, I understand what was bitcoin about in this moment. I get some of them, and then actually will make my life
Now
much
you
more
get it.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
now you
it's
get
too
it.
late.
Yeah,
It took me 10 years to understand what is this. So,
yeah,
yeah, so I think that that's kind of one thing is just remind me, oh, okay, you have to not only focus your current situation, you should look more forward, right? So because the
yeah,
world is changing,
yeah.
so
The word, yeah.
that's a good point. All right, let me thank you,
Thank you.
Marcus.